Test stream. Just doing a quick test. We're going to be bringing the show back. I got a new setup over here, so just doing a quick test stream. Uh, let's see here. See. Yeah. Okay. All right. Makes it clear that I need to clean up my studio a little bit in here because, damn. All right. So let's check and make sure that we are broadcasting on all the channels for this. Okay. Yep, it's my man cave slash studio slash hell yeah. Can I get a what? All right, so check the live. Yeah, this is pretty dope. Okay, so that stream's coming out across great. So let's check the next one. That's right. That's right. Rob has an actual little studio that he put together. You can see over here where I ran out of the backdrop that I've got good foam to make it kind of soundproof. So that's a little bit of sickness. Get up, get down with the sickness. All right. So checking the OTR RVL feed. All right. So let's check out my feed there live. Yep. Working fantastic. Fantastic. Yo, a little excited about this right here. Hell yeah. All right. So the last one. Let's check the D live. Gonna go D live, D live. See? TRRVL. Return. There it is. Wait, I thought I have the D live out. Okay. TRRVL. Done. Okay, why is this not going? Okay, so what's going on with the D live? Okay. So let's do it again. Why? Okay. Okay, so can I edit? Okay. So we will just make a new one for D live since the D live doesn't want to connect properly. And we will just RTTMP stream it. You know what? I wonder if this is because of the whole like thing that I'm having problems logging into D Live here. Okay, it says that it's added, but it's not playing, so the hell? All right, so let's go, let's go, let's go. No, I've got the streams coming up live, and for some reason I can't get the D live stream to come up. So I think I'm gonna have to do it as a straight up um go live, send confirmation email, mail@yahoo.com. D live. Okay, so says I'm confirmed. So let's go. All right. Save recordings of my stream. Category. Other. Okay. So will it work now? So add channel. That's why I'm doing it now, guys. I don't want to have any of these issues when I'm getting the stream ready later on. And oh, did I do it? Did I do it? I'm live. Hell yeah. Yeah, I do it. All right. So I officially have all of the streams working properly. So looks like when I'm ready to go ahead and do this, and we're going to be rocking and rolling from the very first spot. Woo. All right, so I'm going to go back, make sure that I didn't lose any of these streams. There, streaming. What's that? Not yet. All right, so everything's working. I got Rumble working. I've got D Live working. I've got YouTube working. Oh, now I need to sign up for X. Yeah, I can sign up for it right now. So, do you see this thing? It looks like that weird chick that was up to something when Trump got assassinated, or like they did the assassination. Yeah, it's like the assistant deputy director for the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Yeah. FBI, deputy assistant director. Yep. So, gee, I'm so shocked. So shocked. Okay. All right. So premium plus. Ooh, hell no, I'm not doing it annually. God damn. If I want to do it annually, it's $229 right now. All right, let's sign it up. Hmm. Well, not that much. It only saves $3 a month. But considering all the shit I'm having to pay for, you don't need to. I already got it. All right. So they need to capture my ID. Doesn't work. Take a selfie. All right. Okay. So I should be able to stream now on X. So let me turn the X stream back on. All right. So the X stream is live. Yeah, boy. All right. So we got all the tests running perfectly. Perfectly. So then let's get the display here. I want I want my backdrop back. Well, hello to whoever's watching. Ah, I'm the guy with the chronic boomer disease. I'm not a boomer, you jackass. Oh, this is funny. It says, "I remember you claimed to not like Trump and took every opportunity to fondle his balls." Well, for the record, I've never voted for Trump. I will be voting for Trump in this upcoming election, though, because I think he looked like a boss after he got shot in the ear. So, how do you like that? No, I think that he looked like a douchebag for the most part. Yeah, Brad was the one that was the Trump thumper. Yeah. Yeah, I oh, that's on YouTube. So that was somebody on YouTube. Well, thank you for taking the time to stop by and attempt to assault me. You have to come up with something chronic better than chronic boomer. I'm at the tail end of Generation X, so guess what? I don't give a fuck. And my girl's a bit older than me, and she's not a boomer either. So she's Generation X too. She don't give a fuck. As a matter of fact, she's helping me put together my little studio here so we can sit here and dunk on idiot little liberals like yourself. So, but thanks for stopping by my stream. I appreciate it. This is fucking funny, dude. That's awesome. Yep. So let's see. Check my X. Off the rails, right versus left, live. Oh, there it is. Looking good, guys. I can see the stream on X. Hold on, let me move this over here. Can you hear Brian now?
What? Hear Brian? No! Why would anyone want to hear that? You're live from heading up towards Amarillo, Texas.
Yeah. It got you that time. All right, that's fantastic, guys. All right, so let me put my cam back on here. What's an abortion site? You know, I generally don't actually support abortion, but in your case, I would have made an exception. Just so you know. So I'm using X so I can get what I've got to say out there to everybody. Well, generally speaking, um, as I said, I'm not actually a Republican. I'm libertarian. I think that the Republicans are also in the business of just being big business, and they think government's good business, and I don't. So yeah, it's not really a thing for me. As a libertarian, for the most part, when it comes to social stuff, social issues, I don't think it's any of the government's business. As the community and as families and as friend groups, we can have conversations about the um, correct way to deal with things from a moral standpoint. And clearly, we've got some moral issues in our country. Uh, but yeah, the portion of a site X. That's that's like the stupidest gotcha I've ever seen. Um, it's just funny. Um, anyway, but fiscally, for the first 150 years of this country, we had no taxes, no business taxes, no personal taxes, and we didn't need those taxes. The only reason they put in those taxes was the first fund. Well, actually, most of the wars were funded by bonds, not even by taxes. They used tariffs on imports, and that was it. Uh, Libertarian, so I'm a 13-year-old edge lord of ideologies. Well, it's a good thing that I started, like, talking about what a libertarian is, because clearly you don't know. Um, no, I mean, it's basically, what our system was supposed to be as a representative republic, not a democracy, was why our infrastructure is a joke? Our infrastructure is a joke because, all the politicians are crooked. They try and do everything through the government. The government can't do anything. That's, like, actually my point. You're actually backing up my point by saying that our infrastructure is a joke. Like, for example, military and, um, controlling commerce coming into the country, and that's it. State level should control just about everything else. We do not need this federal government. They can't do anything right. And if they would stop taxing the hell out of people, the country would be doing a lot better. You know what? If Walmart needs a heavy duty road in front of their store, Walmart can help pay for the heavy duty road in front of their store. Or if a city needs to upgrade it or a state needs a highway upgraded, then they can take out bonds and they can pay for it themselves. The federal government doesn't need to do that. And if the people don't think that something needs to be fixed, they don't need to put in the money. And then you're gonna get local competition for local jobs instead of national, bidding processes that get overinflated They all go to the politician's buddies. So, like, they don't go to the best person to do the job. Yes, we have a federal government. We are a representative republic. The only okay, so I'm 100% like a Lockean capitalist. Like, Lockean bargain. We give up a little bit of rights to have our individual rights protected from other people, whether it's individuals, criminals, gangs, groups, countries. That's it. That's the only purpose for government. But this government seems to think that it needs to control everything we do, and that's not right. I see a couple other people like popping on different sites here, so I'm actually having a conversation. I don't. I guess the overlay should show, but it's having a conversation with Quick Sticks Productions here. Um, no, a libertarian. They're basically liberal about everything, and they think the government shouldn't have control of anything. Um, like there's very little that I can think of where the government getting involved is a good idea. No, not feudalism. Feudalism is literally the top controls everything and the serfs just do stuff. Like, it's funny you keep bringing up all these government structures, but you clearly have no idea what any of them mean. Like, feudalism was lords and serfs. I say nobody rules. The people agree on the rules that we all abide by. There's a few people that enforce those rules. Like, do you know our Congress used to work a month a year because they actually had real jobs? There was no such thing as a career politician because you didn't make enough money to live off of it. Like, there should be no career politicians. This is a joke. And when you get career politicians, that's when you end up with like vegetables like Joe Biden over here. I need to get a ring cam. Remind me about that, Brian. Or a ring light. A ring light. Yeah. So libertarianism isn't a form of government. Libertarianism is a belief about how much control the government should have versus how much individual liberty there should be. Individual liberty should be almost absolute. They should stay out of business. The market will decide. They should stay out of your personal lives because you're a grown ass adult. You can decide to do whatever you want. And when you're not an adult, well, then you got parents, and your parents decide what goes on in your life. And the government has no business getting involved in that. We were number 1 in the country in education until the government got involved in education. Before that, it was all private. So the government hasn't done anything right in our entire country's history. What they are able to do is rally a large number of troops to defend our nation, but the argument can be made they can't even build weapons anymore because every single program that they come up with is way over budget. It doesn't work the way it's supposed to be. Look at the F-35. Something like not even half of our F-35s are actually functional on a program that they spent what, like $1 trillion on? Are you freaking kidding me? No, forget it. The government can't do anything. And like, no, Argentina was already melting down. So, okay, so the comment is big government mixed with capitalism is working out pretty well and for 99% of the nations on earth. The only countries who tried libertarianism Argentina is going into meltdown. No, what's going on in Argentina is the people are pissed off because all the handouts from the government are going away. But the government couldn't do the handouts anyways. They were going away either way. So now they're trying to do responsible governance so they can actually fix the things that need to be fixed as the government's responsibility and freeing people up to do their own thing. Now, if you're a loser that wants to sit around and get kickbacks from the government, yeah, you're going to feel a little oppressed by a government that won't give you handouts. Well, guess what? You're not entitled to other people's money. So stick it out or survival of the fittest. You're gonna be extinct. Like I don't give a shit. Lazy people aren't entitled for from something from the government because the government doesn't produce anything. So anything that comes from the government is actually stolen from somebody else in the country. And there is no country in the world where big government works out pretty well. You got the highest alcoholism rates and depression rates in Scandinavia, which are supposedly the big government havens. And even they will tell you that they're actually having to pare down all their problems. Then you look at what happened in Greece and Spain and Portugal, they all had huge governments. They were providing all kinds of benefits for their citizens, and their citizens were all super happy. And what happened? Their economies collapsed and they broke down. Why? Because when you hand people something for nothing, they don't do anything. The productivity fell through the roof. And then we have the added problem right now that's actually going everywhere in the world right now. I mean, shit, you look at the capitals of just about any country right now, and they look like they're in the Middle East. Like, it's ridiculous. There's not a single country that's doing okay. Like, what country are you from, Quick Sticks? Give me a second. I'm waiting for because so I have a little bit of a different perspective. Man, that vacuum is bugging me. I have give me while I'm waiting. UK. Oh, okay. You can fuck off with the UK. Okay. First of all, you guys have been taken over by immigrants. Okay. Second of all, yeah, you can't even look at it like not that I can talk about my teeth because I got some fucked up teeth. Like, just getting to the point where I'm gonna have to switch to dentures soon. But that's because I've been drinking soda like 12 pack a day for 30 years. That'll do it. That's why I got the big old gut too. But guess what? We're in a free country. I can do whatever I want. But guess what? If I have health problems out of that, I don't expect other people to pay for it like they do in the UK. Now, in the UK, you got people sitting around waiting to die because the death panels in the UK aren't approving their healthcare. Oh, but you can't say that because if you say anything that the UK doesn't like, they'll arrest you because you don't have free speech. Well, guess what? In this country, I can say my government's a bunch of fucking idiots. Oh yeah, no, I saw. Yeah, I saw. That's great. And, I hope you're Muslim, otherwise you're gonna be in a really bad shape in, like, a year or 2. Like, the UK is gonna be the first Muslim country with nuclear weapons, like, no doubt about it. But you know what? I've been to your country twice. I went to your country, like, 20 years ago, and I went to your country, like, 70 years ago, and England is a shithole now. You guys have joined the 3rd world, like, hands down. And, yeah, you got people out there like, "Oh, yeah, everybody's getting along just fine." That's why everybody's getting stabbed to death out in the streets. And you know what? I'm sure there's gonna be a little thought about, "Oh, well, you got all your gun violence there." Well, you know what? If the liberals would just stop shooting people with the guns they don't believe in, 90% of our gun violence would be gone. So the UK, yeah, you guys used to be impressive about 200 years ago. Yeah, well, you're still connected to England, so you aren't gonna be far behind. Like, the Scots never had the balls to keep their independence for more than 5 years, so, yeah, the Muslims are gonna take you guys over too. Like, it's sad because Scotland had, like, some great history, like, really great leaders, like, great culture, but, yeah, your nobles and your feudal this fucker was talking shit about feudalism, and I'm pretty sure his country has the feudal empire that has a king. Who's their king now? Oh, yeah, King Cuck. So that's why you guys act like a bunch of cucks. Hold on, this vacuum is really bugging me. I have to stand it up. No, I don't support open borders. That has nothing to do with libertarianism. So I 100% support the freedom and rights for people in this country, and I support people coming here. But guess what? Not everybody has anything to contribute, and I don't support people coming here that have nothing to contribute because they're either going to be stealing from people that do contribute, or they're going to starve to death, and that's inhumane. And I'm sorry if you live in a shithole country so bad that you need to come to the United States to have a better life. Maybe you should fix the country you ruined yourself. That's pretty simple. Let's fix the trash that you have. Just like in America, we try and fix the shit that's in our country. So I'm not sure what open borders so, again, I think he's, what he's conflating, libertarianism with the, liberals in his country, so he doesn't actually know what libertarianism is. Probably doesn't even know what a liberal is. He probably just thinks he's liberal because he thinks he's in, like, a labor or some shit like that. So, it's interesting. Brian, do you have anything you wanna chime in about? Yeah, probably. Yeah, definitely. I need to figure out how to get this, set up to where I can add the phone as another source. Okay, dude, you've already made it very clear that you don't understand what the fuck any form of government is. So let me give you a little history lesson. Nazis was the name of a party of socialists who believed in the government controlling everything. That's what you're proposing, not what I'm proposing. So you're the Nazi. Yeah, he called me a Nazi because I support absolute freedom and the government staying out of your business. That's the opposite of a Nazi. But that's the problem with every freaking lefty in the world. They're all fucking idiots. You guys, to be clear, Nazis were liberals, period. They were socialists. They were the People Workers Party. You might call that a labor party, jackass. No, you can't. The government controls everything in Nazism. Oh, yeah, and one of the first things that, the Nazis did. Oh, yeah, public health care and, banning guns. Oh, wait, that's you guys. And guess what? In our country, if the government goes and starts wiping out a group of people, I think everybody with their guns that they're allowed to have should fight to protect the people. That's not Nazism. That's the opposite. So nice try, though. You're the closet case Nazi. Oh, and trying to heckle somebody and shut them up because you don't like my ideas. Yeah, that's kinda Nazi too. Yeah, he's not an idiot, he's just brainwashed by the left like everybody like, at least 50% of the electorate in the West. The West is doomed the way they're going. Nazis were not capitalists. The Nazis controlled every aspect of business. No company made anything that they didn't tell them to make. No company made any money that they didn't tell them that they could keep. They were not capitalists. They were the opposite of capitalists. They were socialists. The only difference was they took their legitimate complaints from the Treaty of Versailles and he used it to fuel attacks. No, you haven't made a single point. You've, like, called names. You tried to call me a Nazi. You tried to call me a feudalist. Like, you just keep calling names, but you don't understand anything that you're talking about. It's not speech, it's idiot. No, there's no such thing as state capitalism, you fucking moron. Like, the state is not in business, therefore, there is no state capitalism. Capitalism is the free market with the government not involved. Like, you literally just put 2 words together that meant the opposite thing and acted like you had a brain. Like, if you had 2 brain cells to rub together, you might be able to figure this out, but you can't, so I'm guessing you voted labor. Yeah, that's crazy. Man, this was just supposed to be a test run, but Quick Sticks hopped on. Hey, Quick Sticks, I mean, I do agree with you, man, but I do appreciate. Yes, I do know what socialism is. Socialism is the government controlling the means of production and providing the benefits to all of society. The problem is eventually society realizes if you don't work hard, you still get the same thing and there's no incentive to work harder, so they stop working harder and then the economy slowly shrinks until such a point that as soon as there's a mass burden, whether it be a war or I don't know, pandemics happen, natural disasters, the government can no longer compensate and then they collapsed financially. The Soviet Union, before they collapsed, they had 4, 4 economic collapse because socialism doesn't work. There's no such thing as state capitalism. You can keep saying it, it just doesn't exist. I mean, you seem like you're intelligent, you're just misinformed. Like, I suggest starting off, oh, let's see here. Wealth of Nations is a good place to start for you, but, so I'm sure you believe in DEI too. Oh, no, jackass, in socialism, the worker owns nothing. You're completely fucking stupid if you think that's what it means. No, socialism means equity. Everybody gets the same thing no matter what. And you know how they got everybody the same thing? They killed the people that were actually productive. That's why the countries all collapse after they go under socialism. And oh, okay, I'm sorry. China did collapse, but they had to kill, like, what, 100,000,000 of their own people? And, yeah, they're gonna collapse eventually. They're floating their whole entire economy. It's not real. So let's see here. So, Wealth of Nations, Debt the First 5,000 Years, The New Spirit of Capitalism, Passions and Interests, The Gift, and The Protestant Ethic and the Spirit of Capitalism. Those are all books you should read, and then maybe you'll understand what capitalism is and understand that you can't put state in front of capitalism because they just don't go together. It's like saying, uh, strong you, intelligent you. They're words that don't go together. Like military intelligence, like helpful government. Exactly. Yeah, military intelligence, so great. We had 9/11, we had the Oklahoma City bombing, we had, uh, yeah, the Trump shooting. Yeah, I find that don't you find that interesting that it's the deputy director that was sitting there in the front row and lifts the sign right before the guy shoots? Like, "Go time." Mhm. I just find it suspicious. I'm not saying anything, I'm not saying she was involved, I'm just saying it looks awfully suspicious, like maybe she was a little bit involved and had a little something to do with it. Yeah. So, if you actually watched my show in the past, you'd understand that I actually trash Trump all the time. I thought he was a disgusting human being. This time around, I'm seeing a lot of changes, and I think he's a lot more uh, open-minded about the world and taking in different ideas. No, actually, it did exist in history, like 100%. At the beginning of our country, we were 100% capitalist. The free market decided everything. As soon as we tossed off, you Brits, whooped your ass and sent you back across the Atlantic, yeah, go sip some tea and, cheerio, mom. See, I thought the Brits like tea, but I'm giving him the tea and he ain't. So okay, so I'll put it this way, true communism, if all people were equally motivated and equally benevolent in spirit, communism would be the perfect form of government. It's a fantasy because people will always have self-interest. Because you're always interested in yourself before anybody else. You're always interested in your family before anybody else. You're always interested in your city before other cities. You're always interested in your country before other countries. You're always interested in your for you guys, your Euro economic zone. Even though you guys aren't part of the Euro, guys sure are sucking the European Union's dick like crazy. Yes, you are. You're a fucking communist. Shut up. Like, I mean, it's okay, you can be a communist, you're just stupid. Like, it's a dumb ideology and it doesn't work, but Yeah, there's no such thing as a social democrat. That's something that communists came up with to hide the fact that they're communists. There's no such thing as a social democrat. Like, social is from socialist. You can't be socialist and democratic. You know what the social democrat is? It's like you vote until there's enough democrats to get rid of the vote. That's all that is. So, you know why your guys' health services have no money? Even though you guys tried to copy the, social democrat, programs in, Scandinavia, because they have a sovereign wealth fund, but you social democrats are the same kinda idiots that wanna get rid of the things that actually drive the economy, like capitalism. So if you don't have business, you can't fund all these government programs that you wanna have. So now that being said, I wouldn't say that I'm a pure capitalist. I do believe in the government aiding in some safety nets. Okay, but safety nets are not entitlement programs. Not everybody's entitled to them. They're just in case. Like here in this country, Social Security was supposed to be a just in case there was another stock market collapse, so people that needed it could survive their old age. But now everybody turns 65 and they get it. Like that's never was supposed to be. You should not have $1 million and be getting Social Security. Like that's just a fact. I'll never see a dime of Social Security. I paid into it my whole life. But I'll never see it. But I don't care because I don't want it. I don't need it. I was smart enough that when I was in my 20s, I put money aside for my retirement. And I put it aside in a way that nobody could get a hold of it. My divorce didn't lose me my retirement. So guess what? My retirement is still taken care of. So to the point now, I'm 45 years old. I get to do whatever I want, whenever I want. So yeah, I'm podcasting and streaming and playing video games. Oh, life is rough. Oh, but guess what? I'm not a burden on anybody. I pay for my own shit. And as of tomorrow, my house is paid for, or not tomorrow. As of the 15th of next month, my house is paid for. Mortgage is cleared. How you like them apples? Yeah, you live in England. It's highly unlikely that you'll ever own a house living in England. If you do, it's probably not actually a house, it's probably an apartment. And you're probably in the upper 10% over there because nobody there can afford to live. And you guys have the same thing going on there that we have going on here, which is big corporations buying up all the land so they can rent out to people and keep the prices of the average person so the average person doesn't have a chance at ever owning property. Although I will have to say, I know less about Scotland, so I'm just assuming it's part of the UK, so it's probably the same as all the other, uh, UK, territories. Yeah, you spend half on healthcare and you guys wait in line for a doctor until you die. Yes, that's true. Absolutely, 100%. But, so I live near Houston here, and, at our medical center, it's amazing that we see a lot of Brits there because they can't get treatment in the UK because they have to wait for some board to approve their care, and if they actually wait, they'll die. So, waiting for treatment until you die is not what I call efficient healthcare. Mm. As a matter of fact, yeah, that's actually Brian, I don't know if you guys can actually hear Brian as he's talking. I can't hear him in the cam, so I'm gonna assume you can't. But the comment that Brian made was that our healthcare system has actually gone down since the government got involved. And I can speak to that personally. There you go. Yeah, Brian has 2 kids. He has to wait 3 months to get a doctor appointment because our government got involved in the healthcare system. And guess what? It was never a problem before. Instead of the government getting involved, people should have just been doing private co-ops to buy group plans so they could get better prices. And, like, I mean, I know it sounds bad, but well, and then there's the point that, yeah, the average Brit spends half what we do on healthcare, but, spend 3 times as much as we do on everything else, so, and you take home less money because they tax the shit out of you. That's actually not true. That is not true. That is 100% false. That is propaganda that's perpetrated by the Democrat Party in this country and parroted by the media, which 90% of the media is owned by liberals, Democrats, and they lie. They straight up lie. Um, Most of the population that doesn't have healthcare now is because it's too expensive because the government got involved. You don't put your head in the sand, and yet you guys have, Muslims wandering around your streets, raping and killing people, and you don't do anything about it. I say you guys take real good care of your, citizens, and you don't put your head in the sand, but you turn the other way while foreigners that don't share your beliefs come there to milk your system while killing the people that started the system and grew the system and supported the system. Yeah, you're right. You don't have your heads in the sand at all. Hey, Quick Sticks, if you want to, like, tomorrow when I actually take the podcast live, well, I'm actually gonna be doing it, like, 6 days a week, so, if you ever wanna come on, I mean, I can send you a link, you can jump in, you can send me an email at otrrvl@yahoo.com. I'll send you the link, you can come on, we can actually debate this live instead of trying to do it through the chat message. I have no problem doing that. Like, I would absolutely love to have somebody that has a different point of opinion come on here and talk with me about it. It's just really hard for me to find people that actually disagree with my point of views because most of my friends are intelligent and educated and have common sense. So, most of my friends are, even if they don't agree with me 100%, they're pretty close in line. So seriously, again, like if you didn't catch that, the email address is www dot no, no, OTRRVL at yahoo.com. Shoot me a message. We'll get you a link. Heck, if you send the message now, I'll send you the link now. You can, like, hop right on right now. We can talk about this. 'Cause I think your perspective is, like, fascinated. I'm not entirely sure how, like, somebody can be that deluded about the way government works and the lack of efficiency thereof. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't actually expect to get an email because most people can't stand up for the babble that they, uh, eschew that they believe in. But it's great. Like, I'm like, yeah, I know because, you guys took the capitalism out of your healthcare system, so you don't pay doctors. So anybody who is smart enough to be a doctor in your country goes somewhere else. So you guys have to get OFWs, overseas foreign workers, to provide your healthcare. That's not a statement of good things. You can only get healthcare providers by getting them from the third world. That doesn't mean your system working. That means your system's broken. If the people in your country can't make enough money to actually do it, the only people that can afford to do it are foreigners to go there. And do you know how these people live? Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, like, whenever's convenient, like, shoot me an email, whenever's convenient, we can do it. I'll make it happen for you. That's not a problem. Like, I understand that, you're quite a bit later over there, so, like, if I need to adjust, my schedule to make sure that we can have a good show, that's not a problem. Like, I'd be happy to do that. But, yeah, so here's the funny thing. So, I was living, part of the time in the Philippines, like, I had a house there, I had a couple restaurants there, and I knew a lot of people that were working as OFWs. And what they do is, I mean, they're basically slave labor, they barely make enough money to survive. They're promised all kinds of money that they'll be able to send back, but they really don't make any more than they would have made if they just stayed in the Philippines. So, if you're from the Philippines and you see this, stop doing the OFW work, it's not a good deal for you. Um, Other than, a lot less typhoons. But, yeah, the OFWs there, they take these ridiculous prices because your government can't afford to pay for healthcare for everybody. So even the crappy healthcare that you guys actually get, is that it's such a reduced price that your own citizens won't do the work, so you have to get people from other countries to do it. That's not the sign of a thriving economy, that's the sign of a dying economy. If your economy can support your own citizens doing it, where you have to ship in people to do the work for you, that's bad. Yeah, but nobody in Australia gets National Health Service except for Australians. No, okay. So again, we have one of the world's largest medical centers here in Houston, and there are tons of Brits over there right now and always are getting healthcare because if they have anything serious, they cannot get treated in the UK because by the time the UK would get around to approving treatment, if they approve treatment, a lot of the people that come here and get cured and get healed and recover, get denied treatment in the UK. So, I mean, I'm glad, like, I mean, you seem like a nice enough person, maybe a little misinformed, but you're a nice enough person. I'm glad that you've never been in that system, but God forbid anything serious happen to you, you're gonna be screwed unless you have the money to come to the US and get treatment. Because we have the cutting edge treatments that people can get, and you don't have to wait a year to get it. And that's all I got to say about that. Anybody who sees the little, shop going along now, it's actually the merch shop for my game streaming, but, like, the money goes to the same place, so if you buy anything on there, I got some cool stuff on there. I did all of the designs on the clothing myself, so hope you guys like the designs. You can go on there, pick something up. It helps fund what I'm doing here, and you get some cool gear in the meantime. That's www.warmongershop.store. So, anyway, gotta try and pay bills, you know? So, but no, I mean, so my thing is, like, my first election, I actually voted for a Democrat. I voted for Al Gore. Um, yeah, because all the people that were sick already died or came to the US to get treated. So, I mean, I don't know. I'd love to hear more about your, the way your government's brainwashed you to believe your healthcare system works. Like, it would be fascinating to me. But government doesn't do anything efficiently ever, anywhere, ever in the history of the world, ever. So you're not gonna convince me that the NHS is doing good. Yeah, I think that's a bad analogy, diesel and a petrol engine for your healthcare system. No, that is not what it is, okay? What you need is you need a hybrid engine that can get 40 miles to the gallon, and what you had is a 3,500 engine that sucks 6 gallons to the mile. That's what you had, and that's what you still have, and it's not gonna change. Like, if you think it's gonna change, you're absolutely insane. The amount of waste and corruption that goes on in government, it's never gonna change. Dude, Tony Blair was, like, 25 years ago, so why are you talking about Tony Blair? Like, ridiculous. So, but what I do know, most of the problems, are created by liberals, and then the pain that comes along with fixing problems always ends up falling onto conservatives, and then they get blamed for the pain, and then when everything's fixed, well, by then people are mad at the pain, so they bring back the same idiots that broke the system to begin with, and then they get credit for fixing everything even though they just got there, and then they go and break it again. Like, I mean, that's what we have in this country. Like, conservatives get in, they fix everything, everything's working right. Then the liberals come in and they break everything, and then the conservatives have to come in and fix everything again. It's like a sickening cycle. And a big part of the reason why it happens is because, like, half your country. Okay, so like labor only has one thing to offer. Government will give you stuff. Okay, but the government doesn't produce anything. Like, I don't understand why you don't get this. Government doesn't give you anything. They steal from you and give you back a fraction of what they stole. Like, so but like in this country, like you look at our presidents. I mean, fuck Jimmy Carter, like trashed the economy. Although I think he followed LBJ, didn't he? So, yeah, it was that was Johnson, wasn't it? I think so. Anyway, so a whole bunch of Democrats ruined our country's economy. So then Reagan came in, fixed the economy, but even Reagan, there's things I didn't like. His mass amnesty was a bad idea, and it set a precedent that brought more illegal immigrants than we had at the time. Like, I'm sorry, like, when you have people come and break into the country, their first act is to break the law and not respect your process to come there. They don't respect your country, and they're just there to take advantage. If you actually care about the country and the laws of that country, then you follow the laws to get there. Um, every country that I've ever gone to, I followed their laws to get there. So, I don't know. Hmm, yeah, same thing with Brian. His wife is Chinese, he's got 2 kids. They had to follow a process. They didn't sneak across the border. Like, it's ridiculous. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, I mean, the reality is, like, I mean, it's kinda the same thing with your house. You don't lock the door of your house because you, uh because you hate the people outside. And it doesn't mean that you keep your door locked all the time. You can still have guests just because you lock your door at night, but you care about the people that are inside of it, and you wanna make sure they're okay, and you wanna make sure that you know who comes into it. Now, I do think it's funny that, a country that sits on an island that's really hard to sneak into is gonna talk shit about immigration because you guys don't really have that issue. You guys get illegal immigrants, but they're not really illegal immigrants. You get people that are coming because you guys are part of, like, the Schengen visa zone and, you're part of the Euro area, and you guys were allowing people to come in. You don't have illegal immigrants. Okay, so what is the population of the UK? Like 130 million or something like that? The amount of immigrants that we've had would be the equivalent of if you guys got 13 million immigrants dumped on you all at once. You guys have never experienced anything like that, so you can't really comment on what's going on in this country, and it's not stopping. There are 10,000 people crossing the border every day. It's a little lower right now because it's summertime, because it's 110 degrees, in the Del Rio Valley over there, in the Rio Grande Valley. So it's a little slow because it's so freaking hot. Once it cools off again, they're gonna pick up the pace. Well, hopefully by then they're gonna know that Donald Trump's becoming the president, and if they come here, they're gonna not gonna make it because we're gonna have our border line with soldiers. They're gonna secure our border. They're gonna make sure that we have a nation. And while they have the border on lockdown, everybody that's here without documents is gonna be picked up and pushed out. And how do you do that? Well, simple. The law says if you're not born in this country and somebody asks to see your documents, you have to present it. Okay, your population's 67 million. Okay, so that would be like 6 million people coming into your country overnight. Like, you guys wouldn't survive that either. You guys have had, like, what, a couple 100,000, and your country's turned into a Muslim nation? Like, give me a break. Yeah, 37 Sharia courts, yeah. Yeah, and it's not a lack of compassion, but you no country is responsible for other countries' problems. Like, we can help who we can help, but we'd be stupid to take people that, can't actually contribute to the country, can't contribute to growth, can't contribute to prosperity, and it's not that we hate anybody else, and it's like the same thing in this country, like, the people that want all these handouts, fuck you, get some skills, learn something, become a value, make your own way, like, I don't think I've ever actually read the Daily Mail. You know what I do see? I see videos of Muslims blocking your streets praying. I see videos of Muslims marching down your roads. That's what makes you look like a Muslim nation. Now, you're in Scotland, so maybe you're not seeing that, so you're blind to it, but, I kinda try and pay attention to what's going on all over the world because I've been to 70 countries. The world fascinates me. I've been to the UK, I've been to London. And a freaking baguette sandwich that would cost $3 here at the time costed me $13 down there at Piccadilly Square or Piccadilly Circus. Yeah, it's a joke. That was a funny comment, though. I love when people tell me to, like, stop reading stuff that I've never read before just because I, like, just observed facts and came to the same conclusions. Well, maybe the Daily Mail, maybe I should read it. Maybe they've got some more points than I ever thought, but, they sound pretty big and pretty institutional to me, so I never bothered reading them because, I mean, they're editorial. I look at facts, I look at data, I look at statistics. I don't know the detailed statistics in your country, but I do see very obviously you've got a Muslim as mayor there in London. I'm sorry, they, by faith, do not believe in your laws and should not be leading your government. So strike one right there, and then they're being allowed to block the streets to pray when there are what, 20,000 mosques in London? No, fuck that. Go pray at your mosque, get out of the fucking street, go pray at your house. You're not nobody is obligated to put up with your bullshit because of what you wanna live. But you guys are allowing them to do it because you guys are quickly becoming a Muslim country, and pretty soon you guys are gonna be living under Sharia law, and, yeah, I don't think that our soldiers should have to go over and save you, but that's gonna end up what's gonna end up happening because you guys are, like, the country closest country in the world to us, and we're gonna end up having to save you guys from yourselves. Just like we had to save you guys from the Nazis, even though now your politics sound an awful lot like Nazi politics. I love how you say, "Yes, we say everything the Nazis said, but we're not Nazis." Oh, yeah, and in the UK, you can get arrested for things that you say, just like under the Nazis. Brian, you should see Diego over here. So my dog's over here, you guys. I got him his own little bed because he likes hanging out in here, but I was switching to the computer chairs, so there wasn't gonna be any place for him to sit. And, like, forgive that, the cat decided that it was to scratch and post, so he beat up the computer chair. Um, but hey, it is what it is. When you decide to love another creature, sometimes they do shit that annoys the hell out of you. That's why I love people, and generally they annoy the hell out of me. But yeah, so I got him a big old cushy, like, temper, dog bed over here so he can hang out with me, and, yeah, he's flopped out on it. This is hilarious. Uh, well, I do appreciate, the people that are watching. I really appreciate, Quick Six Productions. Like, I'm not sure what you do, what you produce. I'll go check out your channel on YouTube, later when I'm offline, see what you do, see if there's anything that, I can support you the way you're supporting me by taking part in this conversation with me. Um, like, yeah, I mean, I appreciate it. Um, okay, if you think there's such thing as a centrist liberal Muslim, you don't know anything about Islam. Like, that's just a fact. Read the Quran. There is no part of Western society that can survive Islam, period. And what are they supposed to do? It says, right in yeah, but if you do, like, production or anything or whatever, I don't know. I'll just check out your page, see what you do. Anyway, but yeah. Oh, I got you. Okay. Well, hey, welcome aboard. And, hey, you're welcome when you have time to come on here and chat with me anytime about any topic. Like, I just like having conversations. So, like, I mean, I think we disagree on a lot of points, but we can still have the conversation. And in my country, there's no danger yet of getting arrested for anything that I have to say. So, I can sometimes I play devil advocate and go a little harder than I need to, uh, but that wasn't the case with, like, talking about the fact that everything the left says is what Nazis said, and they go accusing everybody else that says the opposite of what Nazis said of being Nazis. It's absolutely ridiculous. So, yeah, so I think this is a great test. Well, that's actually, completely incorrect. He or she or they or them or z or zer, I don't know their pronouns, but I'm assuming they're weird, just from the political stance. Um, but, no, actually, I've been around a lot of Muslims, and that's Actually, it was a Muslim that gave me, the Quran to read translated, and when I read it, I realized that you cannot be a Muslim and support any form of Western government because Islam promotes Sharia law, and Sharia law is 100% in contradiction to every Western philosophy. It does not coexist, it cannot coexist, it will not coexist, and that's exactly why there's been a military coup in every single country once Muslims get up to 50% of the population, and they always become Islamic countries with Sharia law, period. There is no exception. There is no country in the world that has a 50% Muslim population that does not exercise Sharia law. Now, they may have varying extremes of Sharia law, but there is Sharia law, and if you're not a Muslim, you will have no rights under those laws because Sharia law says if you're not Muslim, you have no rights. So, and for the record, I'm pretty sure he's not shutting down the Sharia courts in London. So, yeah, I'd say he supports Sharia law. Like what he says to get idiot liberals to vote for him, and what he actually feels are two totally different things. Don't forget, 60% of the Muslims in your country believe in honor killings. 70% of the Muslims in your country think that it was okay for Hamas to go in and rape women and behead babies. That's what the Muslims in your country believe in and support. Like, I don't know why you don't see a problem with that. I see a problem with anybody that thinks the killing of people for political reasons or faith reasons or for any reasons other than self-defense is evil. So I actually really like this person. Like, I mean, I don't agree with any of their politics, but I like them. Yeah, I will say quick sticks. I will say you make more of an effort to support your points of view than most Muslims. Although you did try and throw out the little hateful, like, "Oh, you're nuts," like the stupid, like, fake arguments that liberals make when they can't win an argument. They like start hurling insults that can't be debated, like call somebody a racist or a fascist or Islamophobe. Uh, what's Kazakhstan? Is that Kazakhstan or Kyrgyzstan? Like, what country is that? Because I've never heard of Sististan. Kazakhstan, maybe? I don't know. And I did say that there are varying levels of Sharia law. Um, they still have a modesty code. I've been through the Caucasus, which is funny. Everybody says that we're Caucasian, but no, the people from the Caucasus are brown. They're not white. Okay, I'm gonna pull that up because that's an interesting fact. Tunisia, Kosovo. Okay, Kyrgyzstan is what you're talking about. Kyrgyzstan. Tunisia, Kosovo, Azerbaijan, Kazakhstan, and Kyrgyzstan. And they're not banned in the country. They are just banned in government buildings. And you know why? Because Muslims believe in blowing shit up and you wanna be able to see people's faces. It has nothing to do with the fact that they don't support that. Because I guarantee you walk around the street and those same people will be arrested. No, you do it to be insulting. Like, t to understand what a Nazi actually is, like, people call people Nazi out of a lack of understanding of what Nazis actually were, okay? And it's not like we don't know in this country what Nazis were because we had a Nazi party at one point in time. They were nationalist socialists. That's it. And guess what? They believed in socializing the nation through democratic vote. So what's another name for a national socialist? Um, let's see here. Oh, we might call that a democratic socialist. So, like, really, all your talking points on the left are literally the same talking points of the Nazis. Okay? In our country, You have everybody trying to blame white people the same way they blamed, Jews in Israel. In your country, I don't know. I don't know what the common discourse is, what group they've decided to target. But yeah, it's all they were doing was scapegoating a people in order to, like, give a target of the hate. And then once they had wiped out all the people in their country, then they go, "Okay, well, this country's got a bunch of them. We need to go get them too, or they'll destroy our country. And then we got to go to this country too and get them so that before they destroy our country." And what's really sickening about that is none of the Jews ever wanted to be there to begin with. The Jews were forcibly relocated by European governments because all of that was conquered by European government after European government. The Romans, the Byzantines, um, the Ottoman Empire, which is Turkey. Well, so okay, so no, 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 no. Okay, so don't conflate ideas. Okay, so a country can be Nazi without having a dictator because the Nazism was the nationalized economy and the nationalize everything, and that's what left wants. The left wants to control business. Okay, and I'm sorry, in Iraq, that was a Muslim country, and the Ba'aths were the Nazi party. They were the pro-Hitler party. Um, yeah, I think they should go back to where they came from. Like, that's it. There are 50 Muslim countries in the world that they can go live in. They don't need to come to the West where they hate every idea that we have. Why would you wanna be in our country if you don't like our beliefs? I know that sounds harsh, but seriously, like, if I don't like somebody, I'm not gonna go hang out with them. I'm not gonna go move in and be roommates with somebody I don't like. So why are they coming in and living in our countries? You don't like our culture. You say death to our countries. Like, why are you there? Get out. If you do not follow our beliefs, get out. Send them back to their country of origin. I get that they're born there, but their parents weren't. Send them back. If that's their faith, send them to where their faith is. Let them go live in Mecca so they can be in their holy land. Like, this idea that somebody, like, got popped out somewhere means that's what they are. No, they're not. A nation is more than a location. A nation is a way of life, a way of believing, a way of taking care of people, and that's not what Muslims believe. No, Muslims believe in Muslim community. They don't believe in the countries that they live in. So, no. Every single Muslim living in, England would bow to a caliphate if they were trying to take over. So, no, get them out. If their parents or grandparents or whoever brought their lineage there were from Pakistan, send them back to Pakistan. If they're from Sudan, send them back to Sudan. If they're from, Indonesia, Malaysia, send them back. That's it. The whole family can go. Libertarianism has absolutely nothing to do with nationalism. Like, you're trying to make arguments that aren't comported. That is actually 100% libertarian. The government is in here to protect the people and only protect the people, and an invasion by people that do not have the same beliefs. And I don't recall saying anything about ethnicities. I said if you believe in beliefs that are not compatible with our way of life, go live somewhere where your beliefs are compatible with the way of life. That has nothing to do with ethnicity, because I don't know if you know, but there's Muslims of every different ethnicity because it's like a poison, it spreads. Like, the reality is the whole religion is fake. Like, Muhammad, I didn't say anything about cleansing. I said nothing about cleansing. I said send them back to where they're from. I don't want anybody killed or hurt. Send them back. And you can practice religion, any religion you want, but that is not a religion. Islam is not a religion. They stole the history of the Jewish religion, called it their own, so they could put in a political ideology to get the Arabs to join together to destroy the Jews. That is why Islam exists. That's why Muhammad founded it. He tried to create his religion in Mecca and he got rebuffed. And then he went to the Jewish areas and he tried to spread his fake religion there so he could build an army. And they rejected and he left. And they were so harsh in rejecting it when he left. He stole all of their history, recreated the legend, going, "Look at this great history." They don't have an option. You load them up on a plane and drop them off in the country. The end. We don't even have to man the planes. We got the technology, we can fly 'em by drone. If somebody comes and decides they wanna live in your house, it doesn't matter how long they live there, they don't have a right to stay there. The end. If they come break into your house and have a baby in your house, they don't get to keep your house. Like, that's retarded. If I come to your house and steal your TV and keep your TV for 5 years, I don't get to keep it just because it's been in my house for 5 years, it's your TV. If I get caught, I have to give it back. No, that's not what Hitler tried to do. That's not what Hitler tried to do. If Hitler tried to do that, those trains wouldn't have been going to extermination camps, they would have been going to Israel. That's not what they were doing. He was trying to exterminate the Jews. There is a huge difference. There's no such thing as a British citizen, because to be a citizen, you have to be faithful to the laws of Britain, and no Muslim can be faithful to the laws of Britain because Islam says you can't. You don't understand. The law that you're espousing protects these people, they don't believe in. They don't believe you have a right to live because you're not Muslim, unless you are Muslim, in which case, hey, no wonder you're cheering so hard for them. No wonder you're supporting fascistic ideas. As a matter of fact, I'd argue, the Sharia form of government was the first fascism because they actually predated Hitler and the Third Reich. Now, I will say that I've known a couple of Muslim people that were actually very nice people, but guess what? They drank, they smoked, they partied, they did not they did not practice Orthodox Islam because so I guess this is the what people need to understand. Okay, everybody calls Islamists Muslim extremists. Islamists are not Muslim extremists. They're Orthodox Muslims. They believe what their book says. You're wrong. You're wrong. Islam says you invade every country until you have 50% of the population, and then you institute Sharia to bring about the caliphate. It is a state. It's a state within a state. That's why you have Sharia courts going on in your wonderful UK. Because it is a state, because they don't believe in your government, they don't believe in your nation. As far as they're concerned, you're just part of their caliphate that they haven't finished conquering yet. Bullshit. I call 100% bullshit there. Hold on, I'm pulling up a statistic for you. In the UK, honor killing based crimes up 62% in 2 years. Wow! That sounds like they're practicing Orthodox Islam in the UK. No, I'm not an ethno nationalist because I have absolutely no problem with Arab Christians. Be easier to say I'm a Christian nationalist, but that's not really it either, because I don't have a problem with Hinduism, Buddhism, Taoism, Zen. I don't have a problem with all those religions. I don't have a problem with Kabbalah. I have a problem with Islam because they do not believe in our society, and their only goal, their holy quest given to them by God is to destroy the Western culture. That's their goal. It's what they're told to do. Anything they do to further that goal gets them to heaven. Like, how can you not understand that? Okay, so Cambridge University Press. This isn't the study. Ipsos? Okay. There's a specific study I'm trying to work at. Okay. So, here's the deal. A majority of Muslims in the entire West supports. Yeah, it's pretty freaking obvious because they get down on their knees and pray 6 times a day. Like, it's not hard. It's really not hard. But you can always tell a Muslim because they never fucking shut up about it. I don't know. A new nationalism test. You have to eat bacon in front of, observers. If you don't eat the bacon, out you go. Yep. So, like, oh, most definitely it will lead to it going underground. Like, I'm not doubting it. That's why if you're trying to root something out, you collect data before you move. So, yeah. It's not hard to figure out who Muslims are. They never shut up about it because they're always trying to convert everybody to Islam or inform you how you're inferior because of Islam or inform you how you somehow stepped on their Islam by existing peacefully in your own life. Like, seriously, you guys have, like, people going and trying to shut down restaurants because they sell bacon because bacon is being cooked in their neighborhood. Well, fuck you. Go back to the Arab countries. Well, they don't cook bacon and you won't have to smell it. Like, you haven't answered the question. Why do they keep coming to our countries if they hate everything about our society and culture? They either wanna change our culture and conquer, or they would convert. And if they wanna convert, then why the fuck are there so many mosques? Because they have no intention of converting, they have an intention of converting you. They have an intention of getting you subjected. And then guess what? They will tell you what to do, and if you don't do it, they will chop your fucking head off, period. Yeah, you mean like the ones that did all the hijackings on September 11th? Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. They'll reveal themselves eventually, or they'll go home on their own when they see that they have no support anymore. Or they'll sit down, shut up, and be part of society, in which case, welcome to stay. You can believe whatever you want, but the minute you wanna start preaching Islam and that everybody needs to accept your Islam, you need to fuck right off back to wherever you came from, wherever your family came from, wherever you're descended from. I don't give a fuck. You don't have a right to go and try and change somebody else's culture. If your culture's so great, go live in it. So and it's a funny thing here. You got democratic socialists all over this country that think Scandinavia is so great. Funny that they're not going to live there. You know why they're not going to live there? Because they realize, "Oh, shit, I'll never be able to buy a house there. I'll never be able to afford to have a car there." Like, it just sucks living there. Pretty much the same thing with England these days. You guys have a major housing crisis too, and very low home ownership from my understanding. Send them to a country where the culture is what they like. Like I said, it has nothing to do with ethnicity. If you're a white Muslim, you can pick one of the 50 Muslim countries in the world and go live there. But you're not staying in Western society that you wanna destroy because sooner or later, those people will be radical, quote, because it's not radical, it's orthodoxy. Sooner or later, they will get closer to their Quran, they will believe what's in their Quran, and they will start killing people. Sink the ship. I don't know what you want me to say. They can't send them back. They try and send them back. You can sink every ship that they have before they even get a chance to load them. You can, blow up every plane before they have a chance to fly them anywhere. Because Islam is a backward society, none of them can compare to any Western culture. No, you take your shithole people back and you keep them, and don't try and export them to us again. We're not taking your terrorists. You can deal with the terrorists you made yourself. And if you don't believe me about the effect of Islam, why the fuck is most of Africa Muslim? Because they were conquered by Muslims and forcibly converted. And if they didn't convert, they'd get killed. So eventually, you will have no choice but to convert or get killed if Islam stays. I think it's more humane to send them to a Muslim nation where they can be happy and live uh, their um, subservient life to Muhammad, the creepy pedophile who is considered a high moral man because he waited to rape his slave that he took when she was 6, and he didn't rape her until she was 9. Oh, that's such a holy man. So, and I'll actually point out one thing to you, okay? In the Quran, it does say that the Bible is the truth and the word. But the Bible says the Bible is the truth and the word, and no other word is the word. So, Islam is fake because the Bible says it's fake, and Islam says the Bible's right. Like, I'm guessing you've never read the Quran because you wouldn't try and debate me about anything that they believe if you read the Quran. Every single aspect of their faith, we consider extremist and oppressive. Every single facet. It's not a coincidence that every Muslim country are human rights abusers. That's not a coincidence. It's baked into the cake. Want to give me a passage? I'm not really sure what you're talking about. When the men of Sodom attempted to rape uh, the angels, Lot, the angels rescued Lot and his family and forcibly removed them from the city. Is that what you're talking about? 'Cause Sodom and Gomorrah were like sinful. I'm not a persecutor of it either. Like, if you want to practice Islam, good. Practice Islam in a country that has that culture. You don't get to destroy our culture to practice your belief, and if your belief that's the thing. There as Christians, we want people to live how they wanna live, okay? But you can't be blind to the fact that these people want to destroy you because you want to let them live how they wanna live. That's why they want to kill you, because you don't believe that there's anything wrong with their religion, they will kill you. Like, that's the point. They use the kindness and compassion of the West against the West. I already told you, I don't believe Islam is a religion. I oppose cults, and I oppose radical political ideologies, and Islam is a radical political ideology, that stole a bunch of history from a religion to pretend to be a religion. It's not a religion. But if being faithful to the religion requires you to kill, then yeah, I'm against that religion. I don't care what the religion is. No, by definition, it's not. By definition, it's a cult. Nice try, though. And yes, Brian's gonna hate hearing me say this, but he's heard me say it before. If you're about to say, "What about the Catholic Church?" I agree. The Catholic Church is a cult too because they don't 100% follow the holy book that is supposed to be the doctrine of their religion. What's worse is Islam does. It's just not a holy book. The Bible is put together by dozens of witnesses. Why is why? Conservative Christianity doesn't believe that, anybody should be killed for anything, unless you kill or rape somebody else, then a lot of Christians are on board with, uh, uh, capital, punishment, but that's in the Bible, but we don't cut people's hands off for stealing. We don't, murder a woman because she got raped by a guy and murder her for sex out of marriage, but they do that in Islam. They do that in your country under their Sharia law. Like, half of your honor killings that have happened in the UK were people that were raped, and their brothers and fathers killed them because they got raped, and the irony being they were raped most of the time by Muslim men. No, it's a religion when it's a religion with a good and faithful, like, value system. There is no good and faithful value system under Islam. Its value system is kill and conquer. So, okay, so I'm gonna make this clear. As you continue to make excuses for Muslims, you say, "Oh, conservative Christianity." Okay? If you even had 10 conservative Christians beheading somebody for their religious beliefs in the UK, you would fucking ban the entire religion. Why you guys get down on the knees and suck the dick of Muslims? No, good is not subjective. Good is not subjective. Good is 100% objective. Good is 100% easy. Good is you don't negatively impact anybody else. Period. That's good. And if you're able to impact somebody in a positive way, You do it. That's good. It is not subjective chopping somebody's head off because somebody raped them. Are you arguing that that's good? Are you arguing that blowing up children to make a political point is good? Is subjectively good? Is that your argument? Are you arguing that somebody shouldn't have rights if you don't follow their religion is subjectively good? Is that the argument you're making? Moral objectivity. I think we all pretty much moral objectivity is pretty easy. If you wouldn't want it to happen to you, don't do it to other fucking people. Like, it's that simple. None of these fucking people that go and chop people's heads off want their heads chopped off, but they do it. Okay? A lot of shitty stuff was done in history under the banner of Christianity or the banner well, not well, other than killing Christ, not really as much under Judaism. But when things are done to kill people, wound people, maim people, rape people, pillage villages, pillage cities, burn cities under the name of religion, it's bad objectively because you wouldn't want it done to you if it was your city, your home, your sister, your wife, period. Like moral objectivity is very easy to derive. I'm not sure what you're trying to drive at here. Go ahead and try and make your point so I can demolish it. Because what you're saying doesn't make any sense. Scientifically, where does morality derive? Because morality is not scientific, it's ethic. And actually, I would make this argument. Only the men that are Muslim have to return to Muslim countries. The women can make their choice if they want to return. But if they go, sad because they're probably going to end up raped or murdered at some point. No, it's objective. Dude, everybody agrees murder is wrong. Okay? Even Muslims agree that murder is wrong. They just don't believe that it's murder if you're not Muslim. Social constructs aren't bad. Social constructs are what allow 9 billion people to share the earth. And I already said, I'm pretty much part of the Lockean bargain argument, which is like we all have a right to exist without other people impeding on our right to exist. And Muslims believe they have a right to impede on other people's right to exist. Period. And I never espoused in any way, shape, or form impeding their right to exist. They don't have a right to exist in a place where they want to kill the people. Murder is not subjective at all. Murder is 100% objective. Somebody's trying to kill your wife and you kill them in defense, that's not murder. If you kill somebody for no reason except for selfish reasons, that's murder. Whether it's for gratification, financial gain, whatever. Religious belief, which Muslims do, lots and lots. Islam's killed more people in the last 20 years than were killed by Christianity in the previous 1800 years. This is kind of fun. It's nice to have somebody like stick around on the podcast and have a conversation. No, they believe it's murder too. They just believe that they're justified in committing the murder, and not only justified, that if you're a non-believer, that their murder is glorified. Muslims know what murder is. They just don't care if you're not Muslim. That's what makes it an evil cult. Just like satanic cults that believed in sacrificing babies, that would be evil also. Yet if somebody wants to be a Satanist and in no way, shape, or form negatively impact somebody else, I'm completely support their right to practice their free religion. And if Muslims believe that they can practice their religion without impacting their religion upon other people, I would have no problem with Islam either. But their underlying philosophy is if you are not Muslim, you should be killed, enslaved, or converted. And those are the only three options. Nobody under Muslim beliefs is allowed to live freely as a non-Muslim. There isn't a complete competing philosophy. There's the truth and then there's liars because morality is objective. The people that are arguing on the other side are just full of shit. You do understand people can be full of shit while attempting to make a moral argument, right? I think it's funny that the no, morality is not subjective. The morality is clear, and some people lie about what's moral. Like, murder is wrong. If I say murder is not wrong in X case, that's not subjective. That's me making an excuse for murder. That's not subjectivity. That's lying about the objectivity. No, it's not my opinion. It's a fact. But you should be very happy that there are people like me in the world that believe in conservative values because your nation would probably be part of France, no, part of Germany, blah, blah, blah. All the people that fight for the country have for your country, for my country, for every country in the West have conservative values. The liberals go and protest at colleges in the support of rapists and murderers, and the conservatives go and fight to defend their freedom to say stupid shit. Like, okay, so I've got to kind of ask this question: why did it take you so long to get to the idea that morality is objective to me? When I flat out said morality is objective, not subjective. Like, you do not have a right to impact someone else's life for your own gain. Okay? So right there, that 100% covers every single one of my views. Okay? Deportations. These are people that came in and are impacting the people's lives here for their own gain, objectively immoral. They're stealing the resources of our nation and they have no right to it. If they want to have a country like ours, they can go back to their country and build a country like ours. The end. They have a country. They don't need to come here. Murder. Objectively, I do not have a right. It's not relative. It's direct. I do not have a right to kill somebody else because that ends their life. I do not have a right to rape somebody else because that is impeding upon their life without their consent. And the government exists only to punish people that does not adhere to this objective morality. And it's objective because these are on the laws in every country, including Muslim nations. But then they just make exceptions for people that don't believe their faith if they're a Muslim country. Yeah, objectivity, it doesn't change no matter what. And it doesn't change no matter what. So, unless you're trying to make the argument that a self-defense option or a defense of somebody who's defenseless is, putting subjectivity into it, which that's not subjectivity, okay? No, there's no unless. No, if you're counting that, that is protecting somebody else's right. That is protecting the moral good, okay? Because the person who suffers in that point would suffer nothing if it wasn't for their own actions. If you break into somebody's house and they shoot you, they're not the ones responsible. The person who broke into the house is the one responsible because they were the ones violating morality. If you commit immoral acts, there are consequences. Period. N Yeah, true, because the UK used to subjugate and murder everybody around the world. You guys had the largest empire and you subjugated people all over the world. You murdered them in mass. You forced them to follow the Holy Church of, England. Yeah, 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 absolutely. I believe that you believe morality has changed and varied from civilization to civilization. I believe that that's a red herring. Morality hasn't changed for the most part. They just change what they make exceptions for, and I don't believe there are exceptions for it, except for to defend the people from having their objective moral lives. The only exception is to protect people from other people. That's the only exception. That's the only reason the government should exist is to protect people from other people. I challenge you to come up with a single topic where that I would not apply. Hey, Diego, come on over here, buddy. Say hello. There's Diego. That's my buddy. Hi, buddy. You're on the podcast with Dad. How do you like that? So that's Diego. Keeps me company when I'm streaming. Now he's keeping company with me when I'm podcasting. Okay, but I yeah, the social contract to function. The social contract is we give up a little bit of our God-given rights. Okay? We have the right, God-given right. And yeah, I'm a Christian, so I believe in God-given rights. Sorry if it offends your atheist sympathies, but actually, are you atheist? Because I'm gonna take this from a different point if you're atheist. Like, I mean, it's not entirely relevant, but I think if we're gonna be, like, debating morality, it is kind of relevant to know what your foundational beliefs are. I'm non-denominational evangelical Christian. I am. I will tell people about my faith if they want to hear about it. I don't try and force my religion down anybody else's throats because I kinda believe out one commandment when they did the 10 commandments. There should have been 11th one. Keep thy religion to yourself unless you're asked. So I'm just guessing that you're atheist or agnostic. You're not Muslim or you would have been threatening to behead me already. Enter. Is the door locked? Huh? Yeah, you come in. Oh, sorry. Hold on just a second. I'm still waiting for your answer, bud, about your belief structure. So, been streaming this whole time. Like I was doing a test stream, and then one of my old viewers jumped on his first comment. Oh, you were that boomer. Like, not even fucking close. I'm about 20 years shy of being a boomer. Okay, so let's explore your atheism here for a second. Okay, so atheism. I like actually saw this on a video the other day, and it was like absolutely great. So you believe everything came from nothing, right? Just one day exploded into being. And when you die, you think you go back into nothing. So, hey, that sounds pretty magical. Might argue like godlike act there. Um, but you know what Christians believe? We believe that we die and return to our creator. So we actually believe the same thing. Sorry, you believe in God too. You just think your God is nothing, and I think our God is something. So, um, but yeah, there was a moral lawmaker. There's a moral lawmaker. There's a God in every civilization in the history of man. Every civilization may have a different idea of what they call God, but every single civilization has God. And they generally came up with the exact same tenets. So it kind of leads you to believe that in some way, shape, or form, this is the same God influencing them. Of course, God creates universes. He doesn't write books. So people put their perspectives and spun it in. I don't believe the Bible is the written work of God. I believe it is the testament of the people who knew God. So see, I don't see if you really look at the complexity of life and the universe and the way everything works, I think it makes it very clear that there is a God. Like you look at just like tiny little factors. There's just way too much coincidence for all of this to be completely random. It's impossible. Um, like it just doesn't make any sense. Okay. Um, yes, I am Christian. I believe Jesus Christ is a part of the Holy Spirit sent to earth to live as a man and to die for our sins. That's Christian. I don't believe that a lot of the Christian churches have it right. I don't believe in a lot of the orthodoxies. I don't believe in a large part of the Catholic or Orthodox traditions because they're not anywhere in the Bible. Like, great, have your traditions, but don't call them holy because they're not in the Bible. And Brian's sitting there going, because he's Catholic. The Catholics have a whole separate book, so yeah, it is the word of God. Who wrote it? Even the 10 commandments, they were written by Moses. So it's actually interesting. When you send me the email, I'll also send you a link to my Bible podcast, my Bible study podcast. You can listen to it too, where I put kind of a little more modern, like understanding of God. So I believe the words are interesting because people can take the same words and believe that they mean something else. Um, but what is clear is the Bible, as we know it, was the word of God, but they left out a whole lot of that word of God. Absolutely, that is not true. This fool just said the Westboro Baptist Church is the closest consistent Christianity. This motherfucker just put the worst racist, people in this country and tried to say that this was, like, the accurate, consistent Christianity. That's actually not true. The Jehovah's Witnesses are actually, like, far closer to, practicing what's in the Bible than probably any other denomination, and even I don't think they get it right either. I don't think anybody can get it right because that would, like, presuppose that any human being is intelligent enough to actually understand the will and intent of the Lord, which we're not. That's the reason why people can read the same passage and get different inspiration from it. The word of God inspires us to live the life that God wants us to live. Anyway, what's up, honey? Huh? Oh, shoot. All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna have to wrap this up. I'm like having fun. Quick stick, seriously. Again, if you haven't written it down yet, it's otrrvl@yahoo.com. You don't know how much of the Bible I follow. Nice attempt to insult me, but no. Nice try, but no. Anyway, so I'm gonna have to end the podcast for now. I didn't intend to even do a podcast. This was supposed to just be a test to make sure that I could get all the streams working right, and I did. But it was nice of Quick Six Productions to show up again. OTR rvl@yahoo.com. Shoot me a message. I wanna have this conversation. I'd love to have the conversation face to face. Definitely good having a conversation with somebody who has some different beliefs. It always makes some, good back and forth. Even if you don't believe in God, I hope God's with you, and I hope you have a great night. I know it's getting pretty late over there in, Scotland, so, you take care of yourself, and, have a good day. Everybody else, don't forget to stop by, the Warmonger Shop, www.warmongershop.store. You can pick up some cool gear. Um, I've designed everything on there myself, so I hope you find something you like and help us out with, making the stream. The show is gonna be expanding as we get running again. Thanks to my honey here. I've got a great setup for, podcasting, so I look forward to working with you guys and talking to you guys and hopefully, sharing some ideas and, finding some common ground in places where, we can because finding common ground is how all civilization moves forward. You guys have a great